These are dirty. Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm here in Kroger parking lot calling you up under a nice shade tree. And I wanted to say, how much can a person take? Think about it for a minute. Well, the answer is, if the person is living for God, they can take as much as God allows to come into their life. I mean, it may seem like you're getting hit from all directions. That's how I'm feeling. But I know that God is in control and God allows it and that His grace is sufficient. So let me tell you, if you've been following, you know that this morning I was to have a primary care doctor wellness appointment. It is something that I forget if it's Medicaid or Medicare requires about every 4 months. And it's really just a waste of time. The doctor just weighs you, checks your blood pressure, checks your temperature. I mean, I'm usually there about 5 to 7 minutes after I've driven the 22 miles one way. And but since it's required, you have to go. And so this appointment was scheduled about 4 months ago. And while I was getting ready this morning to go, I got a phone call, and I recognized the number has my doctor's. So I answered, and now this was about 8:40 this morning. My appointment was at 10, and I would have to leave about 9:15 because there's a lot of traffic and construction from where I live to there. It's in Plano. Well, this lady called me. She wasn't the doctor's nurse. She was in the billing or the insurance. Called to tell me that the wonderful Aetna insurance that you've heard me talk about, the HMO, my primary doctor is not in that network. And so if I were to be seen today, I'd have to pay cash. And it would be about $900. I went through the whole thing again. I said, when I got involved with this Aetna, they went through all of my doctors, and they started with my primary doctor, because you need a primary doctor, for referrals and things like that. And my primary doctor was in the network, and I've seen my primary doctor since I've been in Aetna. So she was in the network. The lady was very unhelpful. She said, I don't know anything about that. I'm just telling you what I know now. So I asked to speak to someone else. I spoke to someone else who stood her ground and said, if you come today, you'll have to pay $900 cash or credit card. They did say that. I said, I don't have a credit card, and I don't have $900 cash. And so she says, well, then you won't be able to be seen. So I said, is there someone else I can talk to? Because I'm not understanding why I have been seen since I've been in Aetna. I also don't understand why, when this appointment was scheduled 4 months ago, why didn't it come up on the radar that this doctor's not in the network? And why are you calling me, when I'm getting ready to leave to tell me this? I said, it's very inconvenient. I just came from the ER last night. I tried to explain. She didn't want to hear nothing about that. So she did connect me to a patient outreach worker who was very nice. She listened. She put me on hold. She went back to find out. She agreed with me. Why call me when I'm getting ready to go to the appointment, when they knew I had this appointment 4 months ago? So she put me on hold to go find out about that, and came back, and she said the doctor's nurse dropped the ball. She should have called you at least on Monday to let you know that this came up in the system, that your primary doctor is not in this network, and we don't know why you were able to be seen before in the spring. So I said, well, what happens to that doctor's bill, from the appointment in the spring? I don't have $809 to pay for that, and I'm not one that likes my bills to be unpaid. But they took my insurance card and everything back then, and she said she looked it up and she said it got written off because it was their mistake and not mine. So she told me, I didn't have to worry about it. I shouldn't feel like it's a mark against my name for not paying the bill when I have the insurance and they ran it through. And anyway, she said that the lady who had done all that was new at billing and coding, and she's no longer there. She said, I don't know, but so I said, could you help me with this? I have a cardiologist appointment next Tuesday. By the way, everyone, that appointment was scheduled about a month ago. I had an appointment with my cardiologist, which is a follow-up from the appointment I had with one of his colleagues back in April. When he couldn't see me, he referred me to his colleague, and I went. And so this is a follow-up that was scheduled. Maybe it's been rescheduled twice. Excuse me, my allergies. Oh, that hurt my bruised arm. I know I had to reschedule this cardiologist appointment a few weeks ago when my car was really acting up. I didn't trust it to drive all the way to Plano. That arm. I asked this patient outreach worker, I said, is there any way that you could call there to verify that this appointment will be paid for by the insurance? She said, I'll do a conference call so you can hear everything. So she did. And the lady at the cardiologist went through everything and said, it is covered. I don't have to worry about it. So when she hung up with her, I explained to the outreach worker how I've been wanting to get out of Aetna. The problem is see, I had these 2 eye appointments recently, almost back to back. And Aetna did end up paying for some. I had to pay $115 and some tax. But what I want to do is make sure that I guess I had it last week, this week, I just can't remember. It was the medical eye exam, which is more invasive than just your regular eye exam where you read the chart. That I had the couple weeks before, and then the doctor ordered the glasses. Well, because I have a retina issue from the brain stem disease, I have to have a yearly eye medical exam where they do a whole lot of things. And that appointment was just, like I said, either the beginning of this week or sometime last week. I just really can't remember. I want to make sure that that's paid. The lady told me before I went, I called. I said, I want to make sure that the Aetna is going to pay for it like they said that they would. She ran it through and she said, it's covered. So this appointment, I didn't have to pay anything. But like I'm trying to say, I want to make sure that it's paid. I have to find out if I call Aetna now and say, I want out of your HMO. Is that last eye doctor bill going to be paid, or is it in the process of being paid and then they're going to stop it? I want to make sure that it's paid. And so what the outreach worker suggested was I wait until towards the end of the month. She explained why, something about the billing cycle, but she said by then, not only will it be confirmed that that wellness eye exam is paid or has been paid, but also my cardiologist appointment I have the 15th. By the end of the month, that should be confirmed that it's paid. Then I can call Aetna and get out of them. And I mentioned one insurance that I had before Aetna, and she told me my primary doctor doesn't take that. But I could go back to it and I just have to make sure I don't use it as my primary insurance. Keep my Medicaid and Medicare has dual, and then that other one. And so it's going to be, I don't have to worry about any of that now, but towards the end of the month, like she explained, it's going to be a lot on the phone, and I'm not a phone person, but this has to be done. Also, she said, now I don't know why I didn't notice. Of course, I'm not going to show you my Aetna card because, that's private, but she says, when I bring up your Aetna card, it shows a different name for your primary doctor than the one that you've had for quite a few years. I said, well, let me get my card out and look. And I looked, and it does. It's a primary doctor I've never heard of, I've never seen. So she says, why don't you just let me Google this doctor to see where this doctor is? And she did, and it turns out the doctor is maybe 5 minutes from where I live, my house. I pass by it all the time. The thing is, I've never seen that doctor. And while that doctor is convenient, close, it's not someone I'm established with. My primary doctor is in Baylor, Plano, and all my endocrinologist, my neurologist, all those doctors, the rheumatologist, they are all in the Baylor network. This primary doctor that Aetna assigned to me is not in the Baylor network. And so if I were to go to this primary doctor and need to see a neurologist, I'll be getting away from the one I've had for 12 years. And I'm not willing to do that. He has been a godsend to me, just as I have been a godsend to him, because he knows I pray for him. The outreach, patient outreach director, thought it was absurd, thought it was crazy. That an insurance would just assign you a doctor and not tell you about it or ask you about it. Now, I never thought to look at my Aetna card as far as to see a doctor's name on there. That's probably a big mistake of me, but really, Aetna never mentioned that doctor's name. Like I said, when I got involved with Aetna, we went through all my doctors. My primary doctor was the first, and it's not the name that's on that card. And so, be aware, people, of things like this. It's just, it's all control. It's government control. Now, I'm not making this video to be anti-government or, all that political stuff. I'm just pointing out, requiring you to go for a wellness appointment every 4 months, and it's not a physical. They don't do any blood work. Like I said, they weigh you, take your blood pressure, take your temperature, maybe ask you a couple questions, but it's not an appointment where you can go and talk about, like I could have mentioned to her if I could have gone to that appointment that I was in the ER last night, but it's not an appointment where you're going to talk about anything like that. I'd have to make another appointment to talk about anything like that. You see, so it's they're making money off this wellness appointment, and then I'd have to make another appointment, so that's more money that they're making, and it's not a good system. But I'm glad I know the great physician. His name is Jesus. I'm so thankful. And I've been, this morning I prayed for that lady that I had met in the lobby there. Of course, we didn't exchange names. We didn't really have much time to chat. I wish we did. But God knows who she is, and I prayed for her this morning. And then reassessed, I guess. That's what I do. The whole situation. And I thought, God, your word says you know the way that we take. And so, yeah, it's true. I didn't get very good care there. I wasn't treated with respect. But God knew I was going to end up there before I did. And so it could be that the Lord allowed for me to have to feel so bad with my heart rate that I needed to get to the ER just so that I could speak some kind words to that lady and try to encourage her. Hey, Bible says that our ways are not his ways, our thoughts are not his thoughts. God knows what he's doing. And so I wish things would have turned out better for me, but I'm so glad that I was able to speak a little hope and encouragement to that lady. And I hope that when she left there, that she remembered, hey, someone in that lobby told me they were going to be praying for me. And someone in that lobby reminded me how that God's in control. And who knows our body better than the one that created us? I trust the Lord that he's going to help her to remember that. I really do. And now that still doesn't get the doctor off the hook for, making unkind comments about that woman. And only God knows, and those people know what he said about me when I left. But I can't imagine about it. I can't let my mind start saying, well, he probably said this and this and this, and I can't worry about that. That's not my problem. I was there as someone that needed some help, and I didn't get it. And I do wonder how many people on his shift were discharged AMA, because I know that it was that lady, because he was talking about it at the nurse's station. I want to also say, when I overheard things that were being said about that woman, the door to my room was shut. It wasn't open. It was shut. But they were talking so loud and joking about patients that were there. There was another patient who was in that lobby just before the lady with the kidney transplant came in. This lady had a little boy. And, I overheard just a couple things about that problem or situation, but that shouldn't be going on. And it's an ER, but it's not really one of those hole-in-the-wall ones, like an urgent care one. And it is part of Baylor. This one is. It's not down in Plano. It's in Murphy. But they don't have, a director there that you can go and make an appointment with. They have all the posters up on the wall, how they care about their patients, and they want to hear back from the patients. And it's a website that you log into, and you write down your comment, good, bad, whatever, and they reply with a standard email. And that's really not a good system either. And I don't have the strength or energy to drive all the way down to Plano, to the big hospital, and see if there's someone there that I can talk to about it. I mean, obviously this has been going on because they felt comfortable around that desk commenting and talking about patients. So when someone feels comfortable doing something, it's not their first time doing it. And so it's really sad. It's very sad to me because I worked in the health field. I've told you before, I was a certified nurse's aide and also a certified home health aide. And I never shared things with people about my residents. With other people that we worked with, we would share, but our nurse led that group, and we were just sharing what happened on our shift so that the next shift could be aware of things. But I never tore down any of my residents. I didn't. And when I went into, then when I did some home health aid and I went into a client's house, I didn't leave that house and call up a friend or, um, or anyone and put out that person's business. Why would you do that? It's terrible. Oh, I'm very thirsty. What else can I tell you? Now, I hope that I'm not coming across like I'm down and out or depressed. I'm not at all. I'm not. I'm full of God and I've got hope in God. I just feel very tired and worn out, I guess. I was at that ER over 3 hours on that uncomfortable cot. And then all that I had to deal with there. But like I say, God had a reason. And it could have just been He was leading me to that woman to speak about Him to her. That's how I'm going to look at it, at least. Let's see. Tonight is church. Lord willing, I'll have the strength to go. We have a visiting preacher, a young man, and that's always good when you get someone different coming through. I want to apologize that I'm behind on the Happy Mail videos. I will try to get at least one out today. I will try. And I got an email from I can't remember who it was, but they wanted to encourage me again. This is about the 4th person, and I appreciate it. I do. Wait, hold on. 22. Okay. I gotta wipe these glasses. Someone emailed me asking me again about my Amazon wish list. Well, I don't have an Amazon wish list. And in the past, someone suggested I could, there's somebody walking. You know how you have the parking lot and you have I don't know what it's called, but I'll show you. Can you see? Let's see if he's gonna do it. Oh, he is. Did you see that? He's walking on top of, I don't know what it's called, but he's like 1 foot in front of the other like this. And oh, you're still there. When he was walking like that from down there, all I could think of was when you're crocheting a chain stitch. I'm simple-minded and I get distracted. Okay, no Amazon wish list. And then in the past, somebody suggested I just put a wish list on my community page. And so I said that I was going to, and I never did, but I'm going to. Something came up on my screen. And then the person that emailed me recently reminded me that this is my birthday month, and so, put something there, maybe like I was hoping to get on my birthday, or I'll figure it out. I will figure it out, and thank you so much. And oh yeah, they also mentioned that I have PayPal. I do. I never bring it up, and I never put the link, but there is a PayPal there, and some of you have found it before and have used it, and thank you. And this person suggested putting that link along with that wish list in case someone wanted to send a PayPal. I think I'll do it, but I want you to know any PayPal that I get, it's going to go towards a new phone. Because I can't show you this phone, but the bottom here, like where you plug in your charger, Well, on my screen, that's all broke, and some of the hardware is sticking out, and it is sharp. It's hard to scroll, up. Even the kid at the cell phone store the other day didn't really want to handle the phone too much because of that sharp piece, and I get that. He warned me not to get any liquid in there, warned me to not drop my phone again. My hands go numb. I drop everything. And I do want to invest in a case to put around the phone when I get a new phone. So anyway, I will try to work on that community post. And thank you again for the email reminding me about that. And thank you for the ones in the past that had mentioned it. I know Jeannie from Butterfly Dreams one time said, was encouraging me to do that. And at the time I said, maybe all I'll put on there is some black oiled sunflower seeds for the chickens, but people will get mad. She said that she didn't care if people would get mad, that I love my chickens, and if I was wishing for some black oiled sunflower seeds for my chickens, then I ought to go ahead and post that on my wish list. And so I'm thinking about that guy, the way he was walking. I guess it's a curb, but walking like one foot in front of the other, and it just reminded me of when you're chaining. So I'm gonna let you go. I need to get something to drink. I forgot to bring my insulated Bubba with some cold water. I had it all ready to grab and I left it on the counter. And thank you for listening, and I hope that somehow through this even I encourage someone. Just rest assured, God knows everything that you're going through. He knows, and He cares, and He'll get us through. And it's a wonderful thing to have that confidence in God, I'll tell you. So 27 minutes, it's probably going to cut off. Have a great day. Remember, be kind to everybody, because somebody is having a bad day. I don't want to shut off. I don't know what I hit when I showed you that guy.